Hello everyone and welcome to the Shadow Realm. Today we're going to showcase the best deck so you can dominate the XYZ Festival in Master Duel. Friendly reminder before we start to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Now without further ado, let's dive right into the deck profile. As you're going to realize, we're playing a pure Zoodiac list, aiming to go blind second and disrupt our opponent through hand traps and through Zeus. This deck is really simple to pilot, and as you will see later in the replays, you have plenty of ways to protect your Zeus and shuffle back any resource that we have in the graveyard and put them back to the deck. Thankfully in this format we don't have to deal with decks like Eldritch, but there are plenty of players that decide to play stun or heavy trap decks. Also keep in mind that Utopia and the mirror match are going to be really prevalent in this format. As you can see, we're making a wide variety of hand traps, mainly 2-offs because this is not an established format, so we don't know what to expect. Other than that, the Zoodiac lineup is pretty standard. We're playing 10 Zoodiac main deck monsters and 3 copies of Tanky. And keep in mind that all you want to see is at least one Zoodiac name and a bunch of hand traps. Whiptail is really great in this deck because it can quick effect attach itself to any Zoodiac and make it essentially banish any monster that it battles. Thoroughblade allows you essentially to draw one card, send any redundant name to the graveyard, and makes your Zoodiac XYZ monsters to deal piercing damage when they battle. Lastly, Ramram in my opinion is the most powerful among them all, because when your opponent activates a trap card or effect that target this card, you can quick effect detach material from the card that has Ramram as material and then negate the trap. I'm also playing double copies of Nibiru with the Primal Bing, but you can easily switch them out for 2 copies of Lightning Storm. But Nibiru pairs really well, especially when you have Maxi in the deck. I'm also playing the cheesy 1-offs, 1 copy of Raigeki, the single copy of Harpy's Featherstorm, and of course the single copy of Monster Reborn. Monster Reborn allows you to easily go into Utopic Future Draco without needing to go into Dryden to pop your own Ramram. As for the rest of the cards in the main deck, we're playing double copies of Pot of Avarice because it allows you to shuffle back the materials that we used, and especially Dryden and Zeus. And if you hard open it, you can easily waste the materials in order to bait any negates. I'm only playing 2 copies of Pot of Desires because it's a powerful card, but we don't need to banish every card in the deck. As I mentioned, the triple copies of Fire Formation Tanky to essentially have another 3 Zoodiac names, the double copies of Cosmic Cyclone to deal with the problematic floodgates our opponent might have, and the source of the deck, double copies of Eagle Booster because it allows us to put our XYZ monster in the extra monster zone and make essentially Zeus and Dryden invisible. The double copies of Forbidden Droplet in order to deal with problematic monsters like the Barrier Statues, and the only trap in the deck is double copies of Infinity Permanence. That's an amazing card either going first or second. Now moving on to the extra deck, we play a single copy of Utopic Future and a single copy of Utopic Future Draco. If you own Ramram, you can easily go into Utopic Future Draco by reviving him back with the effect of Chakanine and then popping him with the effect of Dryden. This way we can easily have 2 XYZ monsters on the field to go into Utopic Future. We're also playing triple copies of Zoodiac Tiger Mortar that can essentially give any materials that we need either to Dryden or to Zeus, and Dryden is an amazing boss monster that can be very problematic in simplified game states. And for the rest of the Zoodiac lineup, we're playing double copies of Zoodiac Borbo to attack directly and easily go into Zeus. Keep in mind that you don't have to deal damage to your opponent to go into Zeus, you just have to attack directly. Double copies of Zoodiac Hammerkong to have another material especially for Zeus, and his other effect might come up in some scenarios. And the last Zoodiac monster is triple copies of Zoodiac Chakanine that allows to get the resources back from the graveyard and easily go into Utopic Future Draco or Zeus. Lastly, we're playing the single copy of Drill Driver Vespenando, so we can apply some more pressure and not decay our opponent. And the highlight of the deck is Divine Arsenal AA Zeus. Even at 1, this card can be very oppressive, especially when you can attach multiple materials. If you use every Zoodiac XYZ monster, you can easily have a 6 material Zeus. Now you can also choose to play this deck going first, and if you do so, I highly suggest you playing triple copies of Macrocosmos. You really don't care about banishing your materials, all you care is to wipe your opponent's board. You can also complement this deck by playing triple copies of Solemn Strike or even Solemn Judgment if you choose to go first every time. But in my opinion, the best way to play this deck is to go blind second and not decay your opponent. All you have to do is to time your hand traps correctly and play around certain negates that might prevent your Zeus. Until now I haven't lost a single game in the XYZ Festival, and if you choose to play this deck as well, you'll definitely have a fun time and also farm the rewards really fast. Now that essentially wraps up the video, I'm going to show you 2 cool replays that I had playing this deck earlier today. Also keep in mind to check the links in the description below and join my Discord server. Until next time, stay safe and I will see you in the Shadow Realm.